Hey you guys, it's Raya from Raya's Tie Dye, and this will be our first guided tutorial in a very long time. So we are starting out with a tapestry that has been washed and soaked in soda ash for at least 20 minutes and then spun out in the washer so that it's damp, and then we're going to fold it in half. And I just wanted to tell you guys, I know a lot of you have missed me talking or has said that you'd like a little bit of explanation, so we're going to try to do this at least once a week, hopefully every Saturday. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. But right now, we're just going to flatten the tapestry and make sure that it's all lined up, and then we're going to fold it in half again so that it's all lined up. And then once we get to the folding part, you're going to find the center, which is normally directly across from the hanging loops. So in a second, you'll see here, that's the center, and you're going to fold back into a triangle, flatten that out, make sure there are no wrinkles in it, and then you're going to do it again, just like a paper airplane. If you have any creases in there when you do your sinew and you tie it off, it could end up messing up your mandala design, so just make sure, just take the extra steps to make sure that you don't have creases in there. It will save your design, definitely. And then you're going to want to flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side and just fold it literally like a paper airplane, like I said. Flatten it all out and get all the creases out. And now you're going to be ready for your washable marker. Now you can use any washable marker, just make sure it's washable. I have Crayola right now, but I've used Crazy Art before. You'll definitely just want to make sure that it's washable. It doesn't matter what brand it is. Just make sure that you're able to see it. Check my description box below for links. I do have some in my Amazon store, and they're pretty much worth it, but you can get them at any store that carries markers for sure. Now we're going to go on to the Kite String and the Sinew, which I use the Sinew to create white lines. I do have a card in the top right hand corner that will take you to my Sinew and Kite String video, and I also show you how to make the slip knot that I do in all of my videos. So you're going to just kind of roughly pleat fold that first line, and you're going to just pull really tight, but tight enough just to hold it. Wrap it around 3 times. It'll give you the best white lines. Hold it down and pull tight. And then you're going to continue doing that through the whole design. I will cut my sinew once I get to the portion with the teardrop and start a new slip knot because it's kind of further away from the rest of the design of the tapestry. And by the way, if any of you are even interested or want to know, sinew is actually supposed to be made out of deer tendons. Now, I don't use the real stuff. I always use artificial sinew, so no animals were harmed in the making of my video. And artificial sinew is available on Amazon. You can find it on Dharma Trading Company's website. And you can also find it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, so make sure you check those places out. But if you're not really wanting to look around, I do have that in my links in my description box as well, so just make sure you check all of those to get everything that you need. Now that I said that about a billion times, I do want to point out too that this fabric is super thick when you fold it into a tapestry mandala, so make sure you just pleat fold it the best you can. It's not ever probably going to be perfect, but as you can see the way that I do it, I just try to keep it the same height all the way through, and make sure you're wrapping your sinew super tight, pulling it super tight, and it will actually work out really well. And here is the teardrop. So this is when I cut the other piece of sinew and I make a whole new slip knot. I really don't want an extra white line coming from the rest of the mandala, and I really want the teardrop to be on its own. So that is one reason why I do that. It's also easier to pull it tighter if it's not connected to the rest of the mandala. And because there is a lot more fabric when you're doing this part, you can wrap it around 3 times, but it's not a bad idea to wrap it around maybe 5 times. So I would wrap it around 3, pull tight, and then maybe 2 more, and then pull tight again. Alright, the whole next portion, I am actually just going to pleat fold the rest of the tapestry all the way back, straight back, to sort of create the radio wave pattern on the outside of the tapestry. So it'll be a nice little background. And this time we're going to use kite string. I'm not using rubber bands because rubber bands tend to slip a lot and sometimes they just don't hold it good enough. And kite string you can get really tight if you tie it correctly. I still struggle with it a little bit, but right now I'm just wrapping it around, and then when I go back through I crisscross so that it holds really well, and you just want to get it as tight as you can if you want white in there, and in this case I will want a little bit of white in there. I'm going to pick 2 colors that go well together but also with white. And as you can see, I really like to use a lot of kite string, so I have a lot on hand. I really like to bind it as tight as I can. I'm not so good at tying it off as I am the Sinew, but the Sinew is super easy because it's waxy. But this one, you literally tie a knot like you tie your shoes and then do a double knot. And that's the easiest way I found to do it. And now I'm just going to adjust the tapestry so that the pieces aren't touching, and then we're ready for the dyeing. So as you can see here, I'm just using a shoe rack and a baker's rack. I bought both of these at Walmart. You can get them on Amazon. They are fairly cheap at Walmart though, so I definitely recommend checking at your local Walmart or whatever you have around your area. Now, the dye that I use is Dharma Trading Company dye. I am not affiliated with them in any way, however, they are the best dyes, I think, in my opinion. I do mix mine with urea, which is just a chemical that helps keep the dye moist so that your tapestry doesn't dry out too quick for the chemical process. And while you are dyeing, make sure that you are saturating your tapestry enough because these are thick folds. You want to make sure you get enough dye in there unless you want a lot of white, which I guess normally with a mandala you don't want a ton, but that's why I say you should definitely saturate it enough. Now the outside here with the light blue, the robin's egg blue, and the hot pink, I'm not saturating them too much because I do want a little bit of white in there. So that's not a big deal, but these little petals that I'm dyeing right now, you want to make sure you saturate them really well. Not enough to spread, but enough to get through to the rest of the fabric. Now once I have this all the way dyed, I let mine sit for 24 hours. The longer you let it sit, the better. If you let it sit for 48 hours, the colors will probably be even more vibrant. But at least 24. If you get greedy and you rinse it out at 8 hours, it might be a little pastel looking. That's not always the case depending on what kind of dye you use, but just at least 24 hours. Alright, so rinsing instructions are start off with cold water after 24 hours rinsing to get the soda ash off, and then you want to gradually get to hot water to get all the dye out while squeezing. Get all the dye out that you can, and then we're going to reveal. Check out my sweet copper cone t-shirt, by the way. And after you're done with your reveal, make sure you wash it in hot water with Synthropol if you have it, or you can use regular detergent. I never 100% know how these tapestries are going to turn out, but when I finally get to open it, I get super excited. Ooh, look at all of those bright colors. I love this so much. I did really well with the saturation, and the colors are just so bright and vibrant. It looks so good. Make sure after you wash this, you hang dry it. Definitely do not use fabric softener, and you can enjoy your brand new tapestry. Happy tie-dyeing!